welcome back to the Mad Spiderverse. I'm Mad Spidey. Thank you for tuning into my channel. So after a little bit of, life gets in the way, haven't done much content for the last 2 weeks. Once again, trying to get back into the swing of things. I applaud any of you YouTube guys that can do it consistently, week in, week out. Obviously, I still do Spidey's Outback every week. I haven't literally broken that streak yet. Obviously, I've had a few people co-host for a little while until I can actually get there, just in case I've got a convention and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems to happen to me more than often where, I just have a week or 2 weeks that's just been shit. And yeah, can't really get into the mindset or have the time to be able to do pre-recorded content. So anyway, let's get into it. Today, artist series. Whatever episode number it happens to be, I'll put that in the description anyway, not that anybody cares. All they really want to know is the artists themselves. So if you've never seen any of my artist series before, I basically have quite a bit of original art, comic original art, predominantly, or I'd say probably 95% of it is all commissions. Never been one, I'd love to buy pages and covers and things like that, but I've always sort of preferred to try and get commissions. It feels a bit more personal than, just buying sort of a page, even though I have a few. I pretty much got introduced to the commission game and stayed there for quite a while, and obviously, a little bit retired now, but I still have a lot to show. So whatever episode number this is going to be based on the superstar creator, Mr. Tony Daniel. Sometimes some people might know him as Tony S. Daniel. There is no Tony Daniel, Tony S. Daniel. It's the same person. It's just the moniker that he's I think he changed that slightly over the years. But yeah, Tony is probably most well known for his DC work. He has worked for Marvel. He did a brief stint at Marvel with, I think, mainly X-Force. He did do some Dark Horse stuff. He did some Image stuff. Like, I know he did some work on Witchblade and Spawn. He also did some work on, I know a lot of people were very, they were really hyped and really loved the series Noctera. I think he pretty much did the first 16 issues. If there was, I don't know whether there was any more than that. But he did a lot of work on Noctera. But yeah, DC is where most of his body of work is. I know he's worked on Teen Titans, Deathstroke, Flash, Action Comics, Detective Comics. He's done quite an extensive workload on DC Comics. But pretty much, I actually had to really think about this one, actually, with in accordance to the story. I generally check my old messages, old emails, things like that, to try and refresh the memory, especially when this happened a decade ago. I can sort of put the pieces together a bit. Sometimes I've got a whole trail of messages or emails that I can sort of, work timelines out and things like that. With this one, I could sort of remember what happened, but it was early 2015, and I did notice on, I think it was Facebook at the time, Tony basically said that, he was in amongst projects at the time, and he had some time to do some commissions. So I thought I would jump on the opportunity because I've loved Tony's work, and it was around February, he got back to me and pretty much organized. I think it was mainly done through his website at the time, where he sort of filled out a form of, what you wanted and, what size paper and what medium you wanted to be drawn in and things like that. And then you pretty much sort of sent the payment up front, and then the piece was done and sent out to you. So I pretty much just filled out the form, sort of fairly minimal communication, but with the turnaround time, I wasn't too fussed. So by August of 2015, so what's that, like 4 months, 5 months, I'd literally received my piece in hand. So from February to August, in the commission game, that is like nothing. Absolutely nothing. A few months, I wish they were all like that. And if you've watched any of these series before, you know I have waited years for certain pieces. And there's plenty more of those stories to come. But yeah, a couple of months, yeah, anything under 6 months is actually really good, to be perfectly honest, in my experience. Like, yeah, I've had some in a couple of weeks. Obviously, I've had some done at conventions where it's only been a day, so on and so forth. But yeah, the at-home commission stuff always takes time. So if you're going to get into the game, be the most patient person in the world, be polite, and you'll always get more than what you pay for. In general, you know, I'll say that in general. It doesn't always happen, but most times if you're patient, you're polite, you will get more than what you pay for, because the artist, you know, quite often feels bad if they're a good person and give you more than what you pay for. But anyway, so I decided for an 11 by 17 full figure with background of just Spidey. He'd never really drawn much Spidey before. Like, he'd done a few pieces of Spidey, but he'd never actually sort of done any comic work with Spidey. So I'm just like, I'll just get plain old traditional blue and red costume Peter Parker Spidey, full figure, as I said. And I really like this. Is sort of, it's very dark, gritty, but it's such a gorgeous piece. I actually really like this piece. And I'll tell you something though, this is probably the most bomb-proof. Now I hope I don't get flagged for that word, but that's the only way I could describe it. Like, it was literally, the packaging was next level. Like, it was literally wedged between two pieces of like wood, like thick melamine or whatever it was, wood. Like, the actual thing was like thin and 11 by 17, sort of almost custom made. And like, I could have gone to it with a sledgehammer, and I don't think I could have got into it. So yeah, the packaging, so top marks to Tony for that too. But enough waffling. Here is the piece. As you can see, like, see what I mean by it's sort of very, very dark and gritty. There's Tony's signature there. There it is in all its glory. I'll do this without sort of too much glare. But yeah, I like the lightning strike. Like, when you actually zoom in on the actual buildings and then you can see a lot of sort of squiggles and things like that. But when you actually pull it back, it actually really works. So yeah, I love this piece. It's a gorgeous piece. Massive shout out to Tony. Such a gentleman. Like, I ended up becoming friends with him on Facebook and having a few chats here and there. Super nice guy, but yeah, super talented as well. And yeah, definitely, if you ever see him at a convention, you get a chance, pull the trigger on original art for sure if you can. But yeah, even just have a chat and just say you love his art. You know, super nice guy. And yeah, like a real pleasure to do business with him. But yeah, so that is it for this particular video. Thank you so much if you watched it all the way to the end, all through my usual waffling. Do all the usual YouTube stuff, hit the thumbs up on the way out, leave a comment if you want to. Most of all, please hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything, it's just greatly appreciated if you do. But anyway, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and Spidey out.